there. Good. I'm trying to get live again. I clicked on all the everything that I'm supposed to, and it took me back to the picture. Oh, wait a minute.
Awesome. I'm actually
There we
live
go.
on a couple of different. Hi, I'm actually live on a couple of different platforms right now. So I have Facebook on one hand and school on the other.
Oh,
So
wow.
welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us this evening on episode 58, treating abscesses until you can get to the dentist. It's great to be back. I'm not sure how many of you remember Nature's Mysteries Medicine Show in our 57 episodes before this, but we took a little pause, and it just seemed like with the state of everything right now and this new executive order, I'm not sure if everyone's aware of it, where a pesticide called Roundup is actually production has been increased, and Roundup, actually the World Health Organization has confirmed that it's actually a carcinogen, cancer causing compound. So the fact that its production has been upped on our food is more than just a little alarming, because it's cancer causing. So if anyone has a predisposition for that, then they should definitely try to make sure that they're eating organic. And we'll be going over lots of helpful information. We're going to have Nature's Mysteries Medicine Show come back bi-weekly, and as you know, Virginia, but as some of the other viewers don't know, I'm the author of the book Discover the Essence of Plant Medicine, the 5 Principles of Life-Saving Herbs Cannabis Edition. And I'm also a holistic health practitioner, clinical cannabinoid clinician, Reiki master, and certified in complementary alternative medicine. And I was actually contracted to write the book for the University of Natural Health as an herbal course for them. And in it, we profile 33 different herbs. And for Nature's Mysteries Medicine Show, I'm literally just going through the back of the book and starting with A, because there's so many conditions that we talk about treating and ways to manage those symptoms in the book, that abscesses was the first one. So I'm just going to work my way through the whole alphabet. But then I realized there's other shows that I would like to share in between those ones. So maybe it'll be more than bi-weekly, but definitely bi-weekly at least. So I just feel like right now it's more important than ever to have valid information out there for people seeking trying to treat health related issues, or just wanting to boost their immune function. So I was contracted to write the book for the University of Natural Health as an herbal course for them, like I said. And the reason why they asked me was because about 10 years ago now, my husband was actually diagnosed with a triple hit of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and they only gave him a 35% chance of curing it, told him to get his affairs in order. And I researched it, and I came up with about 20 different vitamins, herbs, enzymes, minerals, mushrooms. That's what our logo is for Nature's Mysteries Apothecary. And those are all, that's the protocol that we use to rid my husband's body of cancer. And whenever we've gone back, his oncologist has always confirmed that he is cured, which they don't use that word very often. So basically, I want to share the information that I learned over those. Well, I've been studying the healing arts for 30 years, but I learned a lot about immune building and other protocols and alternative therapies during that journey, trying to heal my husband when he was sick. And so that's what I wanted to share with you all today, is some of the things that I learned along my way. And just a couple of months ago, he actually had an abscess tooth, and we called the dentist and couldn't get in for 2 weeks. And if you're already in pain and your tooth is infected, 2 weeks is a wicked long time to wait. Like, it almost feels like your face could explode before you're able to get in there. Am I right? So basically, what I wanted to share with you was some herbs and other options that we have, alternative treatments that we use, that you could utilized to manage the symptoms until you're able to get into the dentist. By the time he was able to go into the dentist, they didn't even prescribe antibiotics for him because the infection had gone down so much, and they just like cleaned it. You know what I mean? So I'm not guaranteeing anything like that at all, but if you can avoid antibiotics, other like pharmaceutical antibiotics, your body's better off for it because it actually kills your friendly gut bacteria, which we need. We need that to for our bodies to function properly in so many different ways. It's responsible for so many systems that you might not think, but that's like an episode for another show, what probiotics do to our bodies, right? So for abscesses, what I wanted to talk about. So his tooth, after 3 days of being on this treatment, the morning of the third day, he had like a big, let's see, it was bigger than uh, like a BB, like a BB gun. It was bigger than that, but it wasn't like as big as a marble, like somewhere in between there. And it was like sticking out on his upper gum. And that was after I was giving him this for 3 days. And usually after 3 days, you should see improvement. So I was actually kind of shocked that after 3 days, I wasn't seeing improvement. I mean, he definitely, it wasn't hurting him as bad, but it didn't have that lump on his gum before. So I felt a little, unnerved and wondering what to do next, which I know what to do next. I just didn't know why it wasn't working. So we called the dentist just to see if we could get in any sooner. And they said no. They didn't care that his gum was like blowing up. So we just kept doing what we were doing. And by that night, it had gone down. So the morning of the third day, it wasn't 3 days yet, right? It was only like 2.5 days. So it really took 3 days till we got to the end of that third day to really see the improvements. And of course, you need to keep up with the treatment, even if you're seeing improvements. And we did. And that's what I mean. By the time we went to the dentist, he didn't even really need the antibiotics. It wasn't hurting him anymore. And I truly believe that if we didn't do anything, it would have just gotten worse and worse and worse. So I wanted to give you some ideas, tell you some of the things that we did. First, what I started was, let me just put this up here. First, my go-to always is an echinacea tincture. So this one actually has golden seal in it too. The one that I used a couple weeks ago didn't, but when I was trying to replace it, all they had was golden seal, and that's great. Golden seal is good too. So let's write that down. I started with echinacea, and I would say, so what I like to do, because a lot of people don't actually like the taste of echinacea, shocker, right? Medicine doesn't taste good. It's not supposed to, right? So what I like to do, instead of putting a dropper full in a cup of water, is put a dropper full in just a little bit of water and then drink that, and then drink a cup of water after, so that you're still getting the dropper full in water and you're still drinking a cup full of water, but then you didn't need to drink a cup full of water that tasted like echinacea. You know what I mean? Okay, so one dropper full in a cup of water. Can you see that? Yeah, it's okay. In a cup of water, I'll just move it a little bit. Okay, in a cup of water, and we did that twice a day, 2 times a day. And it's okay if the echinacea, like I said, if it had golden seal in it, you found one that had golden seal, that would be fine. So actually, echinacea is a natural antibiotic. It's one that won't destroy your gut bacteria. And with its natural antibiotic properties, it raises the body's natural resistance to infection by stimulating and aiding the immune system. So by increasing the macrophage and T cell activity, which are the white blood cells that protect against invasion by viruses and bacteria. So next was colloidal silver. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that, but this is the only company that I would suggest using is the colloidal silver. And I'm not sure if I showed you guys the echinacea tincture, just in case. Okay, so the colloidal silver, the company that I like is Sovereign Silver. And they actually used to use silver coins in the Old West a long time ago to purify water. They knew that it had cleansing properties to it. So basically, colloidal silver is nanoparticles, which are little teeny tiny nanoparticles of silver. And we use that my daughter's whole lives. My daughters are like some of them in their 30s now and older. So we've used it for over 30 years. None of us are green, but just saying, if you don't listen to me and you get it from a different company, the reason why I'm saying you shouldn't is because if you use too much of it and the particles were not small enough, it actually could turn your skin green. And I live in Vermont, and there was actually a woman like 30 years ago that lived up here in Newport, Vermont, and she actually was green. Like her skin had a tint of green to it from all the silver because she had taken colloidal silver. I mean, some people even make it. So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't buy colloidal silver that anybody made or anything like that. It's serious. So I would get Sovereign Silver, and it is antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic. Like it kills everything in the test tube. So the first sign of any kind of infection, flu, cold, anything like that, echinacea and colloidal silver are like my go-tos. I always go to first and start with those. And my daughters, their whole lives, they never really got very sick. They might start getting a cold, but then I'd start giving them everything and they would it wouldn't really progress into much. We were lucky. And I realized I don't think it was just that we were lucky. I think it was the herbs that helped, because when there were times that I didn't have the herbs, it didn't go the same. So, so the colloidal silver actually, so you'll take 7 dropperfuls of that a day. No, sorry, 7 dropperfuls at a time. Okay, so 7 dropperfuls, and I would do that like 3 times a day. So 3 times a day. And if it was a child, half that. Okay, so that's the colloidal silver. Then I don't know how many of you are familiar, or actually I have a goldenrod tincture that I had going too. This is my goldenrod tincture. And I felt like once we started giving him that, because it was still infusing when he got sick. So once I actually started, I strained it and I started giving him some. I felt like that really moved things along, because it was like from Vermont goldenrod. And, anytime you can use medicine right from your area, it's always going to be even extra healing. And if you made it, even more. So I gave him that, which I had put in a little like tincture bottle. And we did that. The goldenrod, same thing as the echinacea, where you would put a little in water and then mix it with a bigger cup of water. So goldenrod, 1 dropper full to a cup of water, and do that twice a day, 2 times a day. Okay, anybody have any questions on that before we move on? Okay, so next, I don't know how many of you are familiar with oil pulling. Are you familiar with that? So this is coconut oil, and basically you just take about a teaspoon. It's antibacterial, antimicrobial, according to a study in the Journal of Ayurveda and Integrative Medicine. which confirmed there's 30 systemic diseases that pulling can help to heal. Just oil pulling, just swishing oil around in your mouth. Like, how easy is that? So make sure to uh, pull twice a day, first thing in the morning, before you brush your teeth or drink anything. And often it's a great thing that you can do in the shower. And then again in the afternoon or evening. So you'll gently swish 1 tablespoon of coconut oil in your mouth and between your teeth for 10 to 15 minutes, making sure that you don't swallow any of the oil. And you want to do this gently so that it doesn't like make your cheeks tired or your jaw. And you can add some essential oils to it also if you'd like, such as like clove or cinnamon or tea tree. You could mix them up, do it at different times. Each of them have their own properties as far as being antibacterial, antimicrobial. Um, so a coconut oil pull. Can you see that? So it's a tablespoon coconut oil, swish around for 10 to 15 minutes. And then spit it out. But when you spit it out, you want to make sure that you spit it in the trash, because if you're doing it often and you spit it in your sink, it actually could clog your pipes. So, and then afterwards, you can immediately rinse your mouth with warm water afterwards, or you could even use salt water for added antimicrobial properties. So then rinse with warm water. And you can add salt if you want, but that was the next thing that I was going to talk about was salt rinse. He did that twice a day, and we use this kind of salt, Himalayan sea salt, and he just put about half a teaspoon to a cup of water and did that 1 to 2 times a day. Half a teaspoon salt. So that's sea salt, remember, sea salt to a cup of water. And swish it around. Also, my husband doesn't drink any, doesn't eat or drink any sugar. So I feel like that goes without saying. I don't know about you, but if I have some kind of toothache, and even if I just eat fruit, because fruit has so much sugar in it, which is natural sugar, that's good for you. But like it'll just make my teeth hurt if I have some kind of, cavity starting or something like that. So I'm not saying not to eat berries or anything like that, but it could actually aggravate it because of the natural sugars. But definitely I wouldn't eat white sugar, because not only is that decreasing your immune function and depleting your vitamins and minerals, but it can also, you know, um, what's the word? Speed up the decaying process, make it worse. You know what I mean? He also stayed hydrated, making sure to drink lots of water. So, what people are supposed to do, and I don't know if everyone knows this, but you're supposed to drink 2/3 of your body weight in water a day. So, let's say it was a 100-pound person, then a third of that would be like 33 ounces. So 2 times that would be 66. So a 100-pound person should really drink 66 ounces of water a day to make sure that they stay hydrated. So drinking lots of water. Let me just move this down for a second so you could see that. Okay, so and move it down a little so that you can see it. Okay, so drink 2/3 of your body weight a day. Because if your body's already fighting an infection, then you being dehydrated isn't going to help it get any better, you know? Just going to put this back up. And another thing that we did that was helpful, so taking vitamin C. This company, New Chapter, I don't get any kickback. Let's just make that clear. I'm not showing you these companies because I'm going to make money off it or something. They're just companies that, in my research, are really good companies. And it's like, I love it if you're going to listen to me and you're going to try to get the things that I'm talking about. But if you get them from CVS, then you might as well not get them. You know what I mean? Because CVS doesn't have any good supplements there. There's not going to be anything organic or fermented. So any of these vitamins, this is the vitamin that he takes, which I would also recommend, is a multivitamin. And this is New Chapter, and you can see it's actually age specific for over 55, and it's for men. And it's made with whole foods. So it's not like synthetically made in a lab with synthetic compounds that are just going to cause all these side effects in your body. It actually is made with whole food, and it's actually been fermented. So any kind of fermented vitamins are going to be more bioavailable for your body and more easily absorbed, which that's what you're taking them for, right? So, and they're only one a day. You only got to take one a day. But the vitamin C, I was giving him like 3 in the morning. They're kind of big. They're a little big. I'll show you, but it's okay. I mean, you could crush it up if you need to. So that's them. That's the vitamin C. And he would probably take 3 of those twice a day. And we also have mushrooms. So these are ones that I actually sell. They're lion's mane. But we also have, and he was taking, I just didn't want to bring all the bottles up here, lion's mane, chaga, turkey tail, and reishi. And all of those have anti-inflammatory and analgesic properties to them. And then turmeric was another thing that he was taking. And we actually have a blend that has piperine in it. But if you are taking turmeric, you definitely want to make sure that it has at least a little bit of black pepper added to it, because without the black pepper has a compound in it called piperine. And when it's combined with turmeric, it actually makes turmeric 2,000 times more available. So you want all that bioavailability, right? If you're taking it. So make sure that it has pepper in it if you're getting it from somewhere else or making it yourself. And if you are making it yourself, then make sure that you add a little bit of fat as well. Maybe either it could be cream or butter, milk, or coconut milk. You know what I mean? Just like a little bit of fat also. So does anyone have any questions on that? Okay. Awesome. And if you're interested in learning more about healing people and how to help people feel better naturally without medications that your doctor might prescribe that cause debilitating side effects, and take your knowledge of plant medicine and herbal preparations a bit further, our next session begins April 16th, and in 12 short weeks, you can be applying to the American Association of Drugless Practitioners for your board certification in holistic health. How cool would that be? What a game changer could that be for your life, your career? And for Vermont residents, if you're a Vermonter, we're actually VSAC approved, which is the Vermont Student Assistance Corp. And that is grant funding through the Advancement Grant Program. So eligible Vermonters who qualify may receive full tuition assistance from VSAC. It is a first come, first serve basis for the grant funding. So it is a good idea to try to get it in as soon as possible if that's something that you're thinking about. And we're actually having a sale. There's been quite a price reduction on the program. And we're profiling 33 different herbs. We're going over growing, harvesting, storing, preparations, applications. There's over 150 different recipes included for you to explore. We have scholarships available and flexible financing options as well. We'd love to have you join us, especially, like I said, right now with the state of the world, more than ever, we're going to need lots more holistic health practitioners to help teach people how to heal their bodies naturally. So if anyone wants to hop on a call and book a discovery call with me, I'm always happy to answer any questions. We can set up an appointment. I love talking plant medicine. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. Oh, did you have a question, Virginia?
I always do, right? No, I'm sorry.
Good.
I, I'm in like some intense traction and stuff with my chiropractor after injuries this winter for the next 3 months. When is your winter course? When would your winter courses? What month do you typically start those? Because I
So that
really,
awesome. Yeah,
really
that'll
want
be
to do this.
September. We'll start again in September.
September. Okay. I was
Hmm.
trying to see when it is next. I know that I'm also coming into the busy summer, and like I said, right now I'm just physically trying to get through the rest of the back injury, and it is a lot of financial stuff that goes with that.
Yeah,
So I was,
definitely.
so I had this great conversation with my husband about doing your course. I'm like, I've always wanted to do it. I never could, and I really, really. He goes, let's see what that looks like. He goes, let's get you through these next few months, busy period of work, and try to get through this healing modality right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm coming in soon. I just I
Good.
gotta know when you're coming. I just can't do it on this one. So I'm really
Yeah,
excited about it. Really
good.
excited.
Well, we'd love to have you join us. We're excited to have you join us. And remember, we have flexible financing options, so that can always help. And that's why we don't do the summer session, is because, like you said, you're going to be busy in the summer, and I feel like summer's busy for everyone, So we take that time off, and then we'll come back together in the fall and begin.
Nice.
And it's a great time of year to be in the program because it's harvest time. So there's all these herbs that you can harvest and make preparations with, just blooming everywhere.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Well, thank you everyone for attending and joining us. And we'll be back again in 2 weeks. Um, and if, like I said, if you have any questions or you'd like to book a discovery call about the 12-week holistic online practitioner program, we meet every Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. Oops, sorry, I got something in my eye. At 6:30 p.m. for about an hour to an hour and a half. And my contact info is info@naturesmysteries.com. So if anyone wants to email me and ask any questions or give me a call at 802-624-6540, or our contact page on our website at naturesmysteries.com. If you have any, or you need any help finding any of the supplements that I talked about, I'm always happy to help. So thanks everyone for joining us. Take care. See you later.